All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are tackling what is maybe the biggest, most passionate debate in tech, especially if you're looking to spend over $1,000 on a new screen. We're looking ahead to 2026, and the battle lines couldn't be clearer. It is the absolute cinematic perfection of OLED versus the raw, untamed power of mini LED. So let's really dive in, because this isn't just about reading a spec sheet off the side of a box. No. This is a high-stakes showdown between two completely different ideas, two philosophies, really, of what makes the perfect picture. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly which camp you belong to. So in one corner, you've got the OLED purist. This person is chasing that cinematic, pixel-perfect, completely immersive experience. And in the other corner, you have the mini LED defender, who's all about practical, real-world brilliance that can just dominate any room, any time of day. Let's meet our contenders. Okay, so the OLED purist will tell you it's all about elegance, right? Each and every pixel is its own tiny light source. You want perfect, absolute black? The pixel just turns off. It's that simple. It is pure, it is absolute control. But then the mini LED defender fires back saying, yeah, but having thousands of tiny, super powerful backlights gives you a massive advantage in raw power. These are just two totally different ways of getting an image onto a screen. So, let's go to round one. The OLED purist steps up to make their case. For pure, uncompromised image quality, especially in a dark, controlled room, OLED is simply in a league of its own. And this right here gets to the absolute soul of the OLED appeal. You'll hear fans say that the perfect contrast creates a kind of depth that's genuinely emotional. It's an immersive experience where the TV itself just seems to melt away, leaving only the image. It's a magic trick that backlit TVs, no matter how good they get, just can't quite pull off. It's the difference between looking at a screen and looking through a window. And you know what? The numbers absolutely back this up. A black level of 0 nits, and nits are just a measure of brightness, means true, inky, absolute black. Because of that, you get what's called an infinite contrast ratio. And then there's the response time, 0.03 milliseconds. It is, for all intents and purposes, instantaneous. For movies, and especially for gaming, that means perfect motion clarity. No ghosties, no trails, no blur behind fast-moving objects. Just clean, crisp motion. But hold on, the mini LED defender comes back swinging. They argue that all those perfect specs you get in a dark lab don't mean a thing if the picture just wilts in the bright, sunny living rooms where most of us actually live and watch TV. And here it is. Here is their knockout punch. Pure, unadulterated brightness. A top-of-the-line OLED can hit, a very respectable 1,500 nits, but a 2026 flagship mini LED? We are talking 4,000 nits, or even more. And that is not just a bigger number on a chart. It is the difference between seeing a sunbeam in a movie and feeling like you actually need to squint. It's the raw power to make HDR content just explode off the screen, even when you've got sunlight pouring in through the windows. And this leads to such a crucial point. While tech nerds like me might fixate on those tiny halos or blooming that can sometimes pop up on a mini LED, most normal people are way more bothered by the daily, non-stop struggle with reflections and a picture that just looks dim and washed out in the middle of the afternoon. You might get used to a little blooming, but you will never get used to seeing your own reflections staring back at you. Okay, now this is where the debate gets really, really intense. We have to talk about gaming. This is a critical battleground where all these trade-offs become incredibly personal and are fiercely debated, especially for people who are using their screen for both PC and console gaming. So the OLED purist argues, and they're not wrong, that for competitive gaming, absolutely nothing beats that near-instant response time. You get flawless, buttery smooth motion. But then the Mini Elite Defender points to the constant, low-level hum of burn-in anxiety, right? If you play games that have a static health bar on screen for hours and hours, or if you use your screen as a PC monitor with a taskbar just sitting there all day, Mini Elite gives you total, complete peace of mind. You never, ever have to worry about permanently damaging your $1,000-plus investment. And that feeling, that anxiety, that leads us to a concept that honestly might be the most important factor in this entire debate. And that is the psychology of what it's actually like to live with this technology every single day. Yeah, ownership psychology. It's not about the specs, it's about the mental checklist that you have to keep in the back of your head. It's the difference between a tool that you just use and a tool that you have to actively manage. Let's be honest, the best technology is the kind that you don't even have to think about. And this really creates two completely different mindsets, doesn't it? With an OLED, some owners feel like they have to be mindful, They're constantly aware of static images. Now, to be fair, modern OLEDs have fantastic features to prevent burn-in, and for most people, it's a non-issue. But for some, the fear of it is still there. Mini LED ownership, on the other hand, is just freedom. You turn it on, you use it however you want, for as long as you want, without a single second thought. So, after all the technical debates, all the philosophical arguments, it is time to declare a winner. But here's the twist. The champion isn't one technology beating the other. It's about finding the champion that's right for you.
We have to completely reframe this entire debate. The real question isn't which is better, it's who are you? The right choice for you depends entirely on your room, your habits, and what you personally value most in a picture. What's absolutely perfect for a movie buff in a dark basement theater is completely and totally wrong for a family in a bright, sun-drenched living room.
So here's how you figure it out. It's a simple 3-step process. First, be brutally honest about your room. Is it a dark cinema cave or is it bright? Second, what are you actually watching on it? Is it mainly for movies at night, or is that screen on all day long with news, sports, and marathon gaming sessions? And third, what matters more to you? Chasing that last 1% of absolute picture perfection, or having practical, worry-free performance every single day?
So let's break it down one last time, nice and simple. If you are the movie purist, you've got a dark room, your focus is cinematic, your champion is OLED. No question. If you are the all-day viewer, bright room, mixed use, or you're a hardcore gamer who hates that burn-in anxiety, Mini LED is the clear winner for you. But if you're the motion perfectionist, someone who values that split-second response time above everything else, well, you're back in the OLED camp.
Ultimately, the most important thing to take away from all this is simple. Don't choose the technology that asks you to adapt your life to it. Choose the one that adapts to your life. The best screen isn't the one you have to manage or worry about or draw the blinds for. It's the one you turn on, enjoy, and then completely forget is even